All right, y'all, we got a good one today. Finding your agent or manager. This is probably my most requested video. I have received so many DMs, so many comments on TikTok, Instagram. People in real life are always asking me, how did you get your agent? How did you find your reps? I've tried everything. I've sent so many emails. I've tried every website. I've done everything I can. I cannot sign with an agent or a manager. My name is Chris Bey. I'm an actor, singer, dancer in Los Angeles with experience in commercial, musical theater, and TV film with credits on Disney Channel, Hulu, Netflix, HBO, CBS, and more. Sharing some tips and tricks that I've learned in my career to hopefully make your journey a little easier. It's your dream. Let's enjoy it. Now, before we even get into how to get an agent, what's an agent versus a manager, how to submit to agencies, how to get experience, how to build out your package, how to do all of that, before we even consider that, the first question is, why now? And are you ready? Because I think so many people want representation, but the real question is, are you prepared? Do you have all your ducks in a row so that when you do get a meeting or you do get an interview with your favorite agent or even any agency at all, are you ready? Step one is you need to have your package put together. You need to have everything in order. Your package is essentially what casting and agents will use to submit you for jobs, right? So first, you need experience, you need training, you need your media, and you need to know your type. So I'm gonna get into all of those things, right? So experience. People always say, well, how do I get experience if no one will book me because no one's booking me because I don't have reps, so I can't get jobs and I can't get auditions if I don't have reps? Slow down. When you're on Actors Access, what's Actors Access? If you don't know what Actors Access is, that's what I mean. This may not be the right time for you to have reps, right? We need to do our research. Here we go. Actors Access, Casting Networks, Casting Frontier. Ugh, I don't like Casting Frontier. I don't know why. I think it's the aesthetic of the website. And this new one is casting.com. Those are the basic sites that any agent, any manager, it's the first thing they are going to look at. It is the way that you get these auditions. If you go on them, and anyone can sign up, you do have to pay for them, but anyone can sign up. Actors Access is your bread and butter. That is where the auditions are coming from. And people always say, well, I've been on there, like I don't see anything on there. There's no auditions. Like I want to be on Abbott Elementary. That's not on there. I want to be on The Morning Show. That's not on there. I want to be in this new movie with Zendaya. That's not on there. You're not going to see those. Those are going to your reps. That is why representation is important, because casting is sending those breakdowns to casting directors. They're sending it to agents. They're sending it to managers. That's not public. That's not open call. Sometimes it might be in an open call, but if they're looking for something so specific, if they need someone with one leg, blonde hair, and who lives in Vermont, then they might put out, you might see a big listing for a huge show like that. But you need to sign up for these sites. You have to have all your ducks in a row. But once you sign up for them, you can submit for student films. You can submit for short films, theater. You can submit for things. Yes, some of them are going to be unpaid. These are smaller projects. But submit. Do what you can, because you have to build out your package. You need experience, because if I'm an agent, I can't just take a meeting with you and you're like, I love to act and I'm good. And I'm like, sure. Okay, signed. There's no way. You know what I mean? Like, they have to see what you can do, so you need to build out your package. So submit to everything and anything under the sun. If you're submitting for things on Actors Access, Casting Networks, casting.com, and you're not getting anything because, again, you don't have the experience, you don't have reels, you don't have a headshot that you love, and I say take it into your own hands, right? Making things is free. Acting is free. Turn on that iPhone and write a scene. Act something out with your friends. I just filmed a short with my friends in our friend's backyard. We made a comedic skit, and my manager now uses that to pitch me to shows. That's free. That didn't cost us anything but an iPhone and a tripod. If you make something, obviously try to keep it quality. You want to put your best foot forward. You don't want to put out bad work just so that you have something, right? Like, let's remember quality over quantity. So you're like, I don't have a reel. I don't have any experience. So I don't have any footage of me acting because I've never booked anything on film. You can film right on this wall. A self-tape is something for an agent or a manager to go off of, right? It's material they can use because they're seeing you use your skill set. So if you don't have a reel, and a reel is like a collection of videos showing your past work. It's like a virtual digital resume showing things that you've done. If you don't have a reel, you need something that is going to show that you can act. So film a monologue. Film a scene that you wrote with your friends. Put it on tape, put it up against a wall, open your your iPhone and turn on a little ring light and you're good to go. That's at least something so they can see what they're working with. When it comes to building out your package, I understand there's some things you can't control. You can't make someone book you so then you have material to submit. You can't make someone book you so you have a credit to add to your resume. However, things that we can control are training. If I don't see experience on your resume, the next thing I'm gonna look at is training. Okay, if you're not working, have you at least trained? Are you at least working your craft? Wherever you are, there are so many courses online that you can take. You don't have to be in LA. There are so many things that you can learn through the internet. Classes and coaching are gonna be huge. If there's a gap in experience, at least I know that you're trained, right? Because then I'm like, all right, well, you know something because you've trained with this acting coach that I love, or you've gone to this studio, or you completed, a course at Groundlings. Like that means something. That says like, okay, because some of these courses you have to audition to get in. So if you get an audition, you pay however much you pay, you take your course, you complete it, boom, add it to your resume. Boom, do another workshop. Boom, go to a networking event. Add those things to your resume because at least if you're like, all right, I may not be booking, but I am working. I am making sure that my skills are sharp so that when I do book, I'm ready to go. That's a great sign to agents and managers. Media. Again, this is something you can control. Headshots. If you don't have experience, it's crazy to also not have experience, no training, and no media. Control what you can without breaking the bank. Headshots can be so expensive. I'm gonna tell you right now, most of my headshots, my friends and I have taken myself. We grab my friend's camera, we set up a backdrop, and we snap away. In these headshots, another thing to remember that I mentioned earlier is knowing your type. Who are you? What kind of actor do you want to be, right? Like what roles are you going to play? What kind of shows do you want to be on? I'll do a whole nother video about headshots, but knowing your type helps you photograph in a way that you're like, okay, I know that I want to be on Euphoria and I want to play like this type of character. It's where I excel. You need to channel that tone and that vibe through your headshot. So your headshots, your reels, clips of you working, shorts, skits that you filmed, and your resume, that's all your media. So you have to have all of those things. Having all of your media, having your training, and having experience will also help you when you do sign up for Actors Access and you have all of these things. Because when you're on Actors Access, if your profile is not completely filled out, in the thousands of submissions that casting is seeing from people submitting on Actors Access, yours is not at the top. When you have everything on your profile filled out, yours is going to the top. And I understand that there's so much to do. There's so much that you need to handle when you're building out your package. Tackle one thing at a time. We're not gonna fix this all overnight. You're not gonna get experience, media. You're not gonna be able to get all these things right away. So pick one thing. If you're like, okay, I need headshots. All right, let's work towards that. Let's put money aside. Let's find a friend who's a great photographer. Let's figure out how we can get headshots. Okay, now I need reels. Okay, now let's tackle that. Maybe we shoot our own stuff. Maybe we apply for a student film. Maybe we apply for a short on Actors Access that we saw. Okay, we got that. Now training. I don't have any training. Well, training can be expensive. Okay, well, let's save up. Let's put aside money. Let's do what we need to do to get that training. Keep an eye out for workshops that are pop-ups. All of this can be very overwhelming before you've even submitted to an agent. I understand, but I think pick one thing, focus on that, and then watch the rest unfold, yeah? If you focus on your training because you're like, well, I don't have experience, yeah? You might be going to acting classes, and in your acting class, someone might be like, oh my gosh, I have a short for you that you would be great in. I'm writing this thing, I would love for you to be in it. Boom, now you have experience. Maybe in class you filmed something. Maybe you did a week where you're like, oh, we filmed, mock self-tapes. A lot of these classes, some of them film. They film weekly sometimes. They'll film you doing a monologue or a scene. You can ask for that footage. Make sure that it's footage that you can use, but you can ask for that footage and then bam, there you go. You have something to put in your reel. You're building out your package. So focus on one thing and kind of watch the rest unfold. Also, when I talk about knowing your type, so many people are like, well, yeah, I look like this and this is the color of my hair and I'm young or I'm in this age demographic, and then my agent's gonna take it and submit me for things that I'm the right fit for. Right, but then you're kind of trusting them to find the right dream for you or the right role for you. Sometimes they might not know. Sometimes you're with a rep and they're like, I didn't realize how funny you were, or I didn't realize how much depth you had, or your past, or things that can help you play certain characters, right? When you're submitting for these agencies, you need to know what your type is and what you bring to the table, because you also need to be like, why should I sign you? LA is huge. The acting community is huge. So many people are talented. So many people can achieve the same box that you can check. But there is no you. There is no other Chris Bey. There is no copycat of the person you are. So understand your type, what sets you apart, And why should they sign you? Why should they book you? When you meet with these agents too, you need to have your shoulder. You need to know who you are through and through so that they're like, they got this. They got this. When I'm going to send you work, when I'm going to send you an audition, I can't wait for you to put it on tape. I can't wait to watch it. I can't wait to send it out. So really know who you are and really sit in that and be secure in knowing that you are looking for someone to build out a team for your career. So really understand your rep and the person you're trying to sign with, because the journey that you're going on is a big one. Okay, so now we have our package put together. We have all of our resources. We have all of our tools in our little toolbox. We're ready to submit to reps. How? Okay, there's multiple ways. Everyone always asks me, they go, how did you find your rep? And this is the thing about finding representation that I always tell people is there are many ways to do it, but there is no one way. I can't be like, if you do this, this, and this, you're gonna find a rep and you're gonna be good to go. No. My first agent that I had, I actually met on set filming a pilot. I used to dance at Disneyland. Through Disneyland, I met a choreographer. I auditioned for a local musical, did a local musical. In that musical, I met a friend. He wrote a pilot, asked me to be in it. Boom, that was one of my first things that I did that gave me experience. I was able to put that in a reel. I was able to add that to a resume. And on set, I met an agent. And she said, do you have representation? I said, I do not. Boom, there we go. I got my first agent just from connection, being outside the house. So there's no one way to do this, but accomplish one thing at a time and watch the rest fall into place for you. Okay, now how to submit. You found an agency that you like, you go on their website. A lot of them will have a submissions tab, or it'll say contact, and you can fill it out, you can send your stuff, and you can send it off. And you're probably thinking, Chris, I've done that a million times. I never hear anything back, nothing ever happens. Well, yes, because that is going into a pile of people who are submitting to this agency, and then when they need it, they're gonna go through and look, but that does not guarantee that you're gonna hear back soon, if at all. And then you may think, well, I don't know agencies. I don't know who these big agencies are. And that's okay. I struggle with, I feel like everyone knows the top directors, everyone knows the top casting directors, they know the top agents, and I'm like, who? That's okay. A nice tool is IMDb Pro. Now, I know what you're thinking. If I go on IMDb Pro, it unlocks access to people's managers and agents, and I can find their contact info and just shoot them a message. I would never. That's all I'm gonna say. I would not shoot someone an email to their personal email and be like, hi, I'd like to be signed. What I would do is go on these people's pages, go on actors or performers who are kind of adjacent to where you're at in your life, go on their pages and see who they're with, see what agency they're with, and be like, oh, okay, you know, I feel kind of similar to them. I feel like we're kind of the same type, or, you know, I feel like we're kind of in the same place in our careers. Let me see who they're signed with. Okay, let me go to their website. Okay, they're taking submissions. Perfect. Boom, there you go. Now, when you're submitting to these agencies and you're submitting through their submission box or whatever it may be, through their forums, the first thing, and one of the biggest things that I'm gonna say, and I hope people understand, is don't reach for the top agency. Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you why. You don't wanna be on a roster, or you don't wanna sign to an agent that you're not ready for. Because if you have less experience or you're a little more green, you don't wanna be on a roster where the other people for this agency are Tom Holland and Zendaya, because let me tell you why. If I'm like, hey, I haven't had any auditions in a while, me and Tom Holland going out together, you know what I mean? Like, you wanna be on a roster where your agent thinks of you often, where you're in the right place and you're one of the top contenders and they're like, oh, okay, Chris is great for this. Let me send him out. You don't want to get swallowed up by a huge agency. There is no shame in being signed with an agency or an agent that people don't know. With a boutique, smaller agent, that's where you're going to start out. When you're new, you're going to start out smaller. You're going to start out with smaller agencies. And that's okay. If anything, I think that's a good thing, because you could be one of their top clients and you could be booking left and right because they may be sending you out on so many auditions. Now, what I will say is there are a lot of agencies out there that are a mess, right? So do your research. Make sure you're not signing with someone who is going to screw you over. Check that commission. What do they get commission of? Usually they get about 10 to 15% of everything that they book you. Some agents or managers take 10 to 15% of everything, no matter what you do, whether they got you the job or not. If you self-submitted on Actors Access and you booked it, they still may take percentage of that, versus where if they sent you an audition through Actors Access and then you booked it, they're owed that commission. If an agent or manager is ever asking you to pay money just to be signed with them, run for the hills, girl. Run as fast as you can. It's a scam. And you're like, well, great. Now I found an agent or a manager who's interested in me and they might be scamming me. Yes, do your research. You know what I mean? You can go on the SAG website and you can look them up and see if they're legit. You can go on IMDb Pro, look them up, see if they're legit. Just do your research. Do not sign with someone just because they want you and that validation feels good. It will come back to bite you in a booty. Another way that you can find representation is, I like this way. It doesn't work for everyone. Some people are like, I've done this and it never worked. It has worked for me twice and it has worked for my friends. On Actors Access, there is a paid feature called Talent Link. So when you go to Actors Access, you have your profile, you have everything filled out, you have all your material uploaded, you go to a thing on their website, I think it says services, you scroll down, it'll say Talent Link. What this does is it'll take your profile and you can kind of click all the information and all the stuff that you want. What you're looking for an agent, a manager, are you looking for commercial, theatrical, voiceover? And you can blast that out. I think it's 2 weeks. You pay, I think, $30, $35. It'll blast that out for 2 weeks. It'll send it to all reps who are looking for clients, yeah? What you'll do in those 2 weeks is you'll get messages, you'll get little C-mails from people who are interested in you. And they'll say, hey, I would love to chat, shoot me an email here. Hey, I would love to set up time to talk this week about representing you, send me an email. Okay, now we're taking meetings. Now we got something, okay? So now you're gonna sit down, you're gonna take these meetings. When you take these meetings, think about what you wanna ask. Do not do the thing where you go, where do you see me? What shows would you put me on? Girl, tell them what you want. Tell them where you're looking to go. Are you looking to do more co-stars, more guest features, more comedies, more drama? Are you the girl next door? Are you the feisty, edgy girl? What are your strengths? They also will probably look at your headshots and go, I don't like these. I'll send you some photographers. We'll get you some new ones. We need to expand your material. Here's some places you can go to set up a reel. You can also, there are places where you can go and they will give you material. You can film in a professional setting. You pay a certain amount of money. Boom, you have real footage. Beautiful. This is how I found my manager. And I'm currently only with my manager. I'm no longer with my agents. I'm only with a manager and I swear by her. She is my best friend. I'm texting this girl every day. I also think you need to be close with your reps. That's another conversation. I think if your reps are the ones getting you work and sending you out for things, they need to know who you are. Yeah, like they need to understand you as a person. Like my manager, she knows. She's like, these are Chris's strengths. He's funny, he's zany. This is the types that he can play really well. If they don't know who you are, how can they submit you and pitch you for jobs? How can they ride for you and fight for you to get a job when they don't know who you are? It's, you know what I mean? Like, you also don't want an agent or a rep that you haven't talked to in forever and they have no idea what's going on with you, right? Don't bother them. Don't ask for a submission report every 20 minutes. Trust that they're doing their jobs. What's a submission report, Chris? A submission report is a list of auditions that your reps have sent you out for or pitched you for over a certain amount of time. And then it'll say who it was for, who the producers were, who was on the casting team. Did you get a call back? Did you not? Perfect. I think they're great. Some people don't like them. Some agencies think that it's like a way of being like, are you doing your job? I think they're great for me because I want to see what I'm in the running for. I want to see what I'm getting called back for, what I'm not getting called back for. So have a great relationship with your reps once you get them. That's a whole nother thing we can talk about. But you do the talent link. It works for some people. It doesn't work for others. Sometimes you'll send it out. It also depends on the time of year, right? Say you send it out, like, what is it right now? It's November. If I send it out, it's the end of the year. People might not really be looking to sign people right now. We're going to the holiday season. I feel like we have like 2 more weeks of things working before everything shuts down until January. Maybe in the new year, send out a talent link. Let it fluff for 2 weeks. See if anyone bites. 6 months later, maybe send out another one. You know, you've gotten more material, you've gotten more experience. You're building out that package, you're building out your brand. Send it out again. See now, like, okay, I have more experience, I have more training. Send out another talent link. What's the worst that can happen? $30 here or there, you know, you might find your reps. Now, the third way to find representation, other than submitting on the agency websites or using Actors Access Talent Link, the other way that I tell people they can do is referrals. Now, referrals is, say you have a friend or a coworker, someone that is signed with a great agency that you love. If they're happy with their agent, they're always talking about how they love their agent or manager, they can refer you. Now, hold on, before you get all excited and start calling all your friends and asking to be on everybody's roster, ask yourself, is this the right person to ask? Are we in a place where I should be asking you for a referral to your agent or manager? Because also, like, think about it in their perspective. Say they refer you and it doesn't go well. It's also a reflection of them. So you got to make sure you showing up and you have your ducks in order because you're also a representation now of that person who trusted you to refer you. Do not ask someone to refer you to their reps if they've never seen you work. If they have never seen you act, they don't know your skill set, they've never seen you in the workplace, or they don't know your experience, or they don't know you well enough. If you ask a friend and you say, hey, I love that you're with, this agency, you always talk about how much you love them, I'm looking for a representation, would you mind if I just send you my stuff? You can look it over, and if you don't mind sending it to them, if they're looking for people, sure. I've done it for many of friends. One of my friends is signed with my manager, and honestly, he's booking more than I am. And they have a great relationship. Now, if you ask someone to refer you, I'm gonna tell you right now, you have to be so okay with the fact that they might say no. It's not a bad thing. It doesn't mean that you suck. It doesn't mean anything like that. It just means maybe I'm not in the right place yet to refer people. Maybe I just signed with this agent. Maybe I already know that they're not looking to take people on, or they might have someone on their roster that's exactly like you. Or maybe their agency doesn't take referrals and you've just never heard them say that. If they say no, that's that. It's okay. Don't take it personal. Say thank you so much and move on. But again, it brings me back to building out your package, because if you ask for a referral and you have 2 credits, no footage, and a headshot from 6 years ago, mama. Okay, so we talked about submitting on their website. We talked about talent link on Actors Access. We talked about referrals. The other option is showcases, panels, classes. Just networking in general can be a great way to find reps. Essentially, just get up out the house. Just get up out the house. Yeah, you're not gonna find a rep sitting on your couch watching shows you wish you were on. There are showcases, there are panels, there are classes. So a showcase, sometimes agencies will hold them and you go, you audition and you perform in a showcase where agents come and they look for new clients. There's panels where literally sometimes you go and you just listen to a bunch of agents and managers talk about their career, things they've learned, things to help you. It's a great way to network. It's a great way to mingle. It's a great way to just show face and be out in the world. Again, I found my first rep just by working and being in the field, and it just kind of, unfolds and it all falls into place like we talked about earlier. Going to class, again, watching things unfold, watching things, bleed into one another. If you're in class, not only are you working on your training to build your package, someone in class may say, I know someone who you'd be great with, or my friend's a rep, or I'm a rep, or the teacher may be like, hey, you would be great with this agency. I'm really close with them. I'm having lunch with her next week. I would love to pitch you to her or send her your stuff. Just get out the house, y'all. Get out the house. And now next I want to talk about social media. And I know, blech, right? We're like, ugh, ew, oh my gosh, I'm not on TikTok. I don't know it. Is that going to cost me jobs? Blah, blah, blah. No, I know we're in an era where everyone's like, how many followers do you have? You don't have to be Instagram famous. You don't have to be an influencer. But I will say, be mindful of like your housekeeping, yeah? Don't post crazy stuff. Don't post things that are gonna make you not someone they want to work with and they want to sign. I promise you, as much as they are looking at your headshot, your reel, your resume, your footage, your IMDb, they are also looking at your social media. I promise. I have booked many a job from my manager going, oh, I sent them one of your social media posts and they just went down your page and they liked you and they asked for more footage. Come on now, let's control what we can control. You think they're not looking? You think they're not looking? They looking, girl. So now let's say we've done everything we can. We've signed with a rep. We're happy. Here we go. Understand these next few things. Your rep and you are in a partnership. So many people are afraid of their reps, or they're like, oh, I don't want to bother them, or I don't want to. Stop thinking that they're up here and you're down here. You are equal. You are on the same team. You are both working to get jobs so that both of y'all can make money. It is a partnership. Respect them. They need to respect you. Yeah. And I can go into all of that in another video. Message me, DM me, anything that you want to know about how to navigate your relationship with your reps. Maybe you're signed with a rep and it's not working out. There are ways to handle that. It's a working relationship. So if you have any questions about rep to talent relationships, how to communicate with them, how to leave a rep, how to, handle certain problems, commission, drop me a DM, send me any questions in the comments or anywhere you'd like. There's also a world that I feel like we don't talk about enough, is that there are such things as reps that are not good. There are some agents and there are managers out there that are a mess and they just take advantage or they just come out of nowhere. For example, if your rep is not on a casting site, pay attention to that. Why? Because if you're not on Actors Access, that's where most of the big jobs are coming from. Unless you're pitching me directly to casting directors personally, if you're not on Actors Access, what am I doing here? I think having a bad rep can be worse than having no rep, because if you have a rep who doesn't know how to represent you and they're out there putting your name out there and they're out there maybe submitting you to clients or productions and they're not representing you in the best light, that's not good. That's not good. So don't rush into something just to sign with someone so that you can be signed. You know what I mean? Like, make sure you like your agents. Make sure you like your managers. Again, it doesn't have to be a huge agency. You can sign with someone and be like, this isn't really working for me, and you can leave. That's okay, and we can find a new one. You know, it happens more often than you think. I have friends who have had 4 or 5 agents. It's all about finding the right fit, because why would you want to work with someone who you don't want to be around? You know what I mean? I think this is a hard battle. I think everyone is looking for representation. I think so many people fall off because they can't get reps and they kind of just throw in the towel, or they're like, I've gone through 3 managers or 3 agents and none of them really worked for me and I hated it, and then just like, I'm kind of done. But don't forget, like, you're still an actor. With or without a rep, you are still an actor. You are still able to create your own material. You're still able to write. You're still able to act. You can do whatever you want. The right agent and the right rep will find you when you're putting feelers out there, when you're putting those lines out there. My biggest advice I can give you is get out the house. Make sure that you are casting lines out there so that they can bite them and you can reel them in. You know, they're not going to come randomly find you and knock on your door and be like, hey, I need to sign you right now. You need to be out there. So my biggest advice is get out of the house. Go to classes, go to showcases, go to workshops, go support your friend at the premiere of their new short film. And maybe you can meet your rep there. Pay attention on set. You know, I mean, like, there are connections that you can make randomly through anyone you meet on set. You can meet someone at the crafty table and they may be like, oh my gosh, you know what? Are you signed? And it just kind of flows into each other. You know what I mean? So just be out there. The right connections really do happen so naturally sometimes. So control the things that you can control. If you don't have experience, okay, what can I do to make sure I get experience? If I don't have experience, let me make sure that I'm training. If I don't have money right now to train, let me update my headshots. If I don't have money for headshots, let me work on some footage and material that I can make myself to put into a reel. Control what you can control. Don't trip over what you can't control. Do your research, put yourself out there, be respectful, don't bother people, submit in the appropriate ways, carry yourself with grace, and just work hard. Just work hard and really, really hone your craft, and the right reps and everything will fall into place. So in closing, let's review different ways you can submit. We have through the agent or manager's website, submitting directly through their submission portal. 2, using Actors Access Talent Link, going on Actors Access, going to Services, Talent Link, setting up your profile, sending it out. 3, referrals, asking someone you know or someone in your class or industry, whoever you know who loves their agent and their manager and you would love to be referred to them, sending them all your material and asking if they'll pass it along. 4, we have showcases, panels, classes, just being out and about, going to showcases, performing in them, going panels, asking questions, staying involved in the community, and classes, just training and taking class, making connections, meeting people that you can then ask to refer you, meeting, maybe your teacher knows someone. Maybe you met an agent in class. Those are all different ways that you can find reps. There are many different ways to get there. Don't panic. Don't abuse yourself. Again, it is your dream. Enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. Have fun with it. Have fun building out your package. Have fun getting experience. Have fun making your own stuff. Have fun just being out and about and being like, oh, this is all part of it. This is all part of being an actor. And you may find a rep and be with them for 5 years and your career might be great and they might close down. I had an agent who was no longer doing it and I had to find a new agent. You know what I mean? Like, life happens. Don't panic. Don't stress yourself out. Enjoy the ride. Because somewhere younger you is like, whoa, I'm doing it. Oh, I'm applying for an agent, a talent agent. Younger you would be so gagged to know that you are out here doing the damn thing and looking for agents who are going to submit you for some pretty cool shit. So please don't abuse yourself. Have fun with it and enjoy the ride, y'all. Don't forget, it's your dream. Enjoy it. Keep it cute. Stay safe. Much love and talk to you soon.